afternoon. I am Annie DeGraw, and this is Devils in the Details. Today on Devils in the Details, we are talking about ASU Online, and we have two very special guests joining us. Leah Lommel, Associate Vice President of Ed Plus at ASU and COO of ASU Online, and Julie Greenwood, Vice Dean for Educational Initiatives at Ed Plus at ASU. Julie and Leah, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
U.S. News World and Report has again ranked ASU top 10 in the nation for best online bachelor's programs in 2021. ASU Online currently offering more than 200 degree and certificate programs in extremely high demand fields using very innovative technology. I think the last year with COVID-19, if you weren't already talking about online education, you certainly are now. Leah, first question is for you. Can you give me a brief history ASU Online and tell me a little bit, how did ASU transition into this online space?
Sure. I think that's a great question because our history actually starts about over a decade ago. And it's very simple. ASU's mission is about access and opportunity and who we can reach and making sure that we're reaching all populations. A majority of the US population does not have a bachelor's degree. And many of them want that opportunity, but to go back to a campus or to go back to the traditional setting just isn't in the cards for them, right? Life has moved on, they have jobs, careers, kids, a whole life being built, and the traditional campus environment just doesn't fit them. So we've known that we need to have an opportunity for these people. And so what we did is, working with a couple of colleges and a couple of programs, we started building online programs, taking the same faculty who are teaching the campus programs and building out these completely online programs, offering them at shorter increments and at an opportunity where other people can become a part of an educational experience that they may not have been able to do. So we started small with a few programs, only the willing. And over that time, we've been able to transition more and more. So we started with probably 12 programs. And as you mentioned, we're at over 200, but we'll be close to 300 by the end of the year. And in that transition, we've learned that our learners are what make a difference. Like, how we support them and how we make them successful is what's going to define our success. And so each individual learner teaches us why we're here, what they're going to do in their lives and what they're going to do. And so our history started as trying to reach the masses, and now it's about how we make sure each individual is supported as well as we can be, even with the scale that we're reaching.
And I know for a university as large as ASU, to personalize it takes a lot. But Julie, to build on what Leah was talking about, ASU Online has seen really explosive growth, and that's not just in the degrees being offered, of course, but in enrollment. How has changing technology sort of propelled that growth?
Well, first, I think it's important that you have the great faculty that we have at ASU, and that great faculty is working with a team of just some outstanding learning designers. And then beyond that, you have this incredible network of program managers and technologists at Ed Plus that support this growth and the scaling. But, thinking about technology, ASU really is the first research-intensive university to bring on many of these STEM programs that have, intensive lab experiences for students. And so once again, I think it's our partnerships and our willingness to partner with ed tech and actually driving the development and advancement of educational technology that has facilitated bringing these programs online, bringing the STEM programs online. And, certainly I think probably one of my favorite programs that's recently come on and exemplifies this, and is now probably one of our largest programs of over 2,000 students, is biological sciences. And this group of faculty, that their leadership, Mike Angeletti, Kinro Kasimi, have led their faculty to develop this program where all the courses are adaptive and personalized, working in collaboration with Cogbooks, really to develop what we call the biospine. And that's where all the courses are personalized and linked and provide adaptive remediation to the students to have and support them all the way through the program. So just super excited. All of that technology provides learning analytics. Those learning analytics feed into the Action Lab. The Action Lab operationalizes all that data to use learning engineering so that we're constantly improving those courses, the learning experiences, and the success of our students.
And you named just one program that has 2,000 students in it, bigger than a lot of small colleges. And I want to get back later to talking a little bit about that hybrid of the in-person learning along with the online learning. But earlier we mentioned the mission at ASU. ASU judges our success on not whom we exclude, but by whom we include. ASU Online obviously lives that out to the full. It's in its mission, serving students every day. Question for both of you. How do you see that mission really being lived out in the work that you do every day?
Oh, I think it varies. I think one of the biggest thing is there is no traditional or specific type of student that we have in the online space, which makes it very unique. We're constantly dealing with the new populations. One thing that I think is important to note is, as I mentioned, the average age of our learner is about 29 years old, 30 years old. So they definitely have a different amount of life experiences. And we're dealing with military wives who work part-time and are in their online programs. We have people in different agencies of government that are coming back for their degrees. We also have a big partnership with Starbucks. And so we have a lot of baristas that are here to get their degrees. And so there is no traditional college student that we're serving. And so it's very important that we make sure that we personalize. It helps that we have so many programs that we can choose from, but I think it's also important that we need to make sure we're providing services to serve them all. There may be students who need tutoring because it's been 10 years since they took a math class. We may have students who need a constant reminder as to why they're coming back for their degree. Many of them have 4 to 5 transcripts that they're bringing in. So there's just a lot that we have to do to make sure we're serving each unique individual and their background and what they're coming either back to or for the first time to the university, and making sure that we're setting them up for success all the way through to graduation and a degree and for life.
And Leah, I want to get back to the traditional student sort of definition, because you are absolutely right. There is no traditional student anymore. That doesn't exist. But Julia, I also want to build on something you had mentioned. I think traditionally individuals thought of online learning as exactly that, online learning, and that is it is a one-faceted type of learning model. But really, it's not. And ASU Online has proven that. We have a lot of hybrid models where it does have that lab experience that is in person along with the online learning. How did ASU Online come to that, and how is that sort of taken off?
Oh, once again, I'll use an example. Another one of my favorite programs, and I'm biased as a cellular biochemist, but our biochemistry program and the faculty are what lead this kind of innovation. But when they wanted to bring their program online, they came to EdPlus and they said, okay, we want to do this, but we still want to offer our students an in-person experience. The opportunity for them to come to campus, to experience what ASU is like on the ground, and have that full lab experience working in a collaborative environment, understanding what safety procedures are like in a hands-on environment. So biochemistry, what they did is they innovated to where their students come to campus for 2 summers in a row for 1 week and have an intensive lab experience where they work side by side with each other and the faculty. They get to know the faculty. They build those relationships. I had the opportunity to go have dinner with these students one night and to hear them talk about, the value of this program. I said to them, well, we're working really hard to create these experiences online so that you don't have to come to campus. And they all said, no, this is the highlight of the program for us. We want to come to campus. This is great. Some of the faculty in that program, Austin has done a great job in building those relationships and has advocated for those students to be accepted into medical school, which is another barrier that ASU is knocking down in having online students accepted into top tier medical institutions. So there's nothing that we can't do. There's a variety of different ways to provide these experiences for our students, and we continue to innovate around research, around clubs, and student government for our students.
Fascinating to think that ASU Online is breaking those barriers about what our medical school population looks like. I love the idea of us helping to diversify such an important field. Leah, the support we're giving students is not just through online programs. We also have success coaches. Can you talk to me a little bit about what are success coaches and how do they support our students?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Our success coaches are there to fill in all the possible gaps that learners may encompass that they don't even realize. The number one thing that success coaches help students with is time management. A lot of us take for granted that you automatically know how to juggle your kids, your work, your school, and to carve out the amount of time it takes to be successful in college, it's hard. So we start with things like time management, making sure we have a clear goal in mind. So success coaches are constantly there to remind the learner why. Why are you getting this degree, right? Because it takes a lot of tenacity and grit to stick with a program and get to graduation. And those coaches are there to be that moral support. They're there in tough times. Online students experience a lot of adversity in their life, whether it be natural disasters that are happening across this country that we may not be experiencing in Arizona, but it is impacting people all across the country or even internationally. So we help them reach out for local services as needed, professional counseling. If they're running into a hard time academically, we make sure they understand the resources available for tutoring or study groups, and also just engagement. Right? It can be very isolating to be sitting in your house, getting a degree, most likely the first person in your entire family to get a degree. We want to make sure that they know they have a support network and that coach is their number one advocate. And so it's a lot of things that are either very operational, but also can just be an emotional support for the learner and to make sure they're successful. That's their whole purpose.
Two things you mentioned there, I just want to double back on. One is the first generation college student. What an amazing thing that ASU can be a part of, really changing not only that person's life, but their family's life. And the second one that you mentioned is the globalization of education. When you globalize education, when you bring more people into the fold, you have issues that didn't exist before. So it's wonderful to hear that those success coaches are there to really help them sort through those issues. We are coming to a close, but I do have one last question for both of you. With this amazing honor coming to ASU for one of the top online degree programs in 2021, what are some of the exciting changes that are on the horizon for ASU Online?
Well, there's a lot. Julie, you go first.
So I continue to see us innovate. I think one of the most exciting advances is our partnership with Dreamscape. As we're creating these virtual experiences for our students, using empathy to enhance engagement and learning. So actually having students go into a lab experience in a 3D environment where those students can be in different locations or they can be here on campus and actually engaging with each other to, for example, save a frog cat in the alien zoo that has become sick, potentially from something in the food web. And so once again, having to create their own hypotheses and actually test those and go in this environment and just a different way to experience collaborative learning. So I think that's an example of an innovation that excites me. We continue with personalized adaptive learning, using technologies to personalize academic experiences and support. So it's unlimited and infinite, the scale at which we can work and support our students.
Yeah, I think there's a lot going on in the classroom and new ways to learn. And there's also a lot around your whole college experience and how we immerse you and engage you with that college experience, because you're going to be an alumni of Arizona State University. So we have a lot of great events, webinars, and ways for the online student to continue to be engaged with ASU as a whole. And we're seeing that take off like crazy. We have a student club who's standing up a brand new student government for ASU Online. So you can get involved in all possible areas that you never even thought would be possible in an online program because you thought you were just going to sit there and take classes. Not here. This is a complete experience from A to Z on everything you could get in your university. We also have some pretty great new programs coming up, from tech leadership to also, just to drop a hint, I think that we're going to have some teacher certification possibilities in our programs coming up, which a lot of places have a hard time doing online, but we need teachers. I mean, if this pandemic hasn't shown anything, it means we are reliant on our teachers and well-educated teachers. And we want to make sure we're bringing them a quality online program. So we have a lot of really great things for the individuals and just for society in terms of how we continue to advance in certain specialties and fields.
It seems fitting to talk to both of you at the beginning of a new year with so many new and exciting projects coming up. Julie and Leah, I want to thank you for joining us today on Devils in the Details. Excited to see all of the things on the horizon for ASU Online. And to all of you who joined us, thank you so much. Visit ASU and ASU Online to see all of the exciting projects that we talked about today.